Hey guys, so I thought now would be a great time to do an Empties video because it is at the end of the month of August, but also we currently don't have internet right now. So I figured now is a good time to take this opportunity to film something since we are kind of off the grid. But I thought it was a good time to film this Empties video because I had just finished up some of my skincare and along with some other things that have since expired. I don't have a lot in my collection at any given time. I tried to kind of stick by, or at least this past year, I've tried to stick by the rule of not buying anything until I use something up or something has expired. So kind of sticking to that one out, one in rule. But I have finished some skincare and some other things, and I thought I'd kind of talk through them. First, starting with skincare because that is my most consistent group of empties. I finished yet another bottle of my Veronique and Kristina Holey collection, the Pure and Essential Oil Free Oil Cleanser. This is, I believe, my 9th bottle, which I feel like is a testament to how much I love this cleanser. I've tried a lot of other cleansers before. Jordan Samuel Plie cleanser. I'm not sure if he's changed. I think the name has changed to the After Show Treatment Cleanser, I believe. But that was a beautiful cleanser. It was definitely too active for my sensitive skin, even though I really enjoyed the scent and I love the packaging and the ease of that product. Because my skin was getting so red, I kind of thought that maybe I should try and figure out what was kind of irritating it. Not that it was, unbearable or anything, but just something to investigate. That was around the time when I think they first launched this line, and I can't remember which specific article I saw them in, but I'm pretty sure it was a New York Times Magazine article where they as in Kristina Holey and Veronique, kind of spoke about how a lot of people's skin is now sensitized because of all the different kind of skincare formulations and makeup formulations they go through, and that especially things with essential oils in them, which is very prevalent in the clean beauty world, compromises people's skin after a bit. And having read that whole article, I kind of felt like they were talking about me, and so I thought now was a great time to kind of try this. And this particular bottle is their full-size one, and it's 4 fluid ounces, which is the typical cleanser amount, and it retails for $40, which I think is not that bad compared to if you're going to get a full-size bottle of, say, the Tata Harper oil cleansers. I stuck with this for probably over a year and a half now, I think. Basically, once I started it, I have not veered away from it. I don't think everyone would get along with this, only because of the scent. Because there's no essential oil, there's no really fragrance blend in this. So it doesn't smell sweet, it doesn't smell floral. In fact, I find it smells very earthy and almost sometimes and don't be grossed out, it smells a bit like chicken broth to me, which was a very strange olfactory sensation when I first tried it, but I've kind of since gotten used to it, and it really just smells like oils. When you get it, you can notice that there's the oil portion and then some sort of thicker material at the bottom, and so you have to really shake it up to incorporate and re-emulsify the two. And I think what's caught at the bottom is really the sugar surfactants in it that help to kind of very gently exfoliate, but it does separate, and so you are advised to kind of mix the two, and you do have to, otherwise I feel like it never performs as well when you have too much of the thicker consistency or too thin where it's just the oil. So you do have to do kind of a 50-50 of it, but I think once you do, it's really great. And on days where my skin is really happy and nothing's there's no acne, there's no redness, when it's kind of at its most normal state, I'll use one full pump to remove makeup and cleanse my face. And all I do is kind of just rub the oil, remove the makeup, and once everything is like kind of removed, I'll take a few drops of water and emulsify the mixture, and it'll turn into like a milky texture. And then I just use a warm washcloth and I rinse and wipe it off. It leaves my skin feeling hydrated, clean, not clogged, but definitely like there's no makeup or sunscreen residue left. And I find that whatever the sugar kind of mixture is, it does tend to pill when I'm first using like circular motions to remove the makeup, which I don't mind, because to me it kind of feels like it's gripping all the makeup and sunscreen that I've worn throughout the day and kind of just like removing it from my skin. And plus, once it emulsifies, it just rinses off clean. So yes, cannot rave enough about this cleanser. Sticking with the Kristina Holey Marie Veronique line, this is their Barrier Lipid Complex, which is the facial oil of the line. And this is also my third bottle. Now, this retails for, I think, $95. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking $95, that's a lot for a facial oil. And you're right, it is. But this is 1 fluid ounce, which is the general amount facial oils come in. But this bottle alone lasts me 6 whole months. So then when you divide 95 by 6, it's really not that much per month, especially if one bottle can last me so long that I don't need to constantly be repurchasing it. And this one is amazing during fall, winter, spring, I think. Basically any of the cooler months, or when your skin is really dry and kind of irritated either from wind or the cold weather or having your heater on. When I still lived in New York, I used to use this all year round just because I felt like my skin really needed the extra nourishment at nighttime. But since moving to Portland, I actually find this to be too heavy during summer. So I've since switched it out for a different oil during summer. But when it goes back to being fall, winter, and spring, I'm going to repurchase another bottle to use as my evening facial oil. Because this is also essential oil free, I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier actually, but the Kristina Holey and Marie Veronique skincare line is all about not having any essential oils, nothing that can feel sensitizing to the skin. And so this one also doesn't have it, which is why it has a similar really earthy scent that's just like the scent of oils. But this really is a super moisturizing and healing oil for me. Also, you'll notice that it looks like it's kind of come apart, but this is just because whenever I finish a facial oil or cleanser, I rinse it out just with my Dr. Bronner's soap and hot water. And I basically took apart the dropper so that I could recycle each part. So these two glass portions I recycle with glass, and then this rubber and plastic portion I recycle with plastic. I actually have to double check that the rubber part I can recycle it, but as you can see, like I could just take it apart. The next item is this small sample of the Ayla Beauty Dara's oil. So this is actually a facial oil developed by Marie Veronique for the owner of Ayla Beauty, Dara, and so it's aptly named Dara's oil. And what's interesting about this oil is that Dara herself had developed a sensitivity or like an allergic reaction to tocopherols. So tocopherols, sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation, I'm not unsure how to pronounce it, but basically they're the preservatives often found in clean beauty. And from my research, tocopherols kind of come in two different forms, synthetic or natural. And so the natural ones, from the clean beauty stance at least, are often non-GMO and come from either sunflower seeds or something else that's also plant derived, I think. And then there's the synthetic version of tocopherols. It's also commonly written as vitamin E in the ingredients list. So she basically developed a reaction to it because it's so prevalent in clean beauty formulations. So she asked Marie Veronique to make her a facial oil that doesn't have it. So this one is what she came out with, and it is beautiful. I have yet to kind of bite the bullet to buy it because it does come at 0.5 fluid ounces, so half the amount of regular facial oil, and it does only last 6 months once expired. So if you kind of invest in it, it should be the only one you're using, so you can make sure to use it up in time, because it doesn't have the preservative of the tocopherols in it. And the bottle itself is also, I believe, $90 or something very close to that. I'll put it in the description box below how much it is. But yeah, so I haven't gotten myself to buy the full size yet, but it is an absolutely beautiful oil. I think if you're looking for a new facial oil and you also have sensitive skin that's easily kind of irritated, or you feel like it definitely needs a healing period where you kind of focus on skincare and taking care of it, this would be a great bottle to invest in. It smells like freshly picked berries, so it makes me think of like summertime. It's a beautiful scent, and the formulation itself is so nice. It's really light oil, but it's very deeply moisturizing, and I find that it sinks in really fast. It's great to use with gua sha. I cannot rave about this enough. I mean, I'm definitely gonna buy it soon, but just not right now. Maybe come winter time or next spring. I guess another skincare / makeup item is the Octave Therapy Elemental Sun Balm. This is my second sample of it. It has an SPF 30, and you guys have seen it in many of my videos already. I love this stuff. This is just that kind of deluxe sample size I got. This is my daily sunscreen. I love it so much. The texture is perfect. I only need a small pea-sized amount for each day, and I've never gotten sunburn or noticed any kind of like sunspots happening, and this is just really a great formulation. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because I haven't tried it yet, they have reverted to, I think, a previous formulation, so it's different from this sample. I know some people have used it and have found it to be, or the sample version, found it to be too greasy, and I think it definitely can be that, which is why I tend to balance it out with whatever makeup or other skincare that I'm using with it. So on days when I was just using this as my sunscreen, I definitely went lighter in my skincare underneath, so I wasn't using that much oil, and then I would use this as the sunscreen layer, or sometimes even mixed in with my Gressa Minimalist Serum Foundation, which becomes a pretty dry formula. So that mixed with this one I found was like the perfect balance for like dewy, glowy skin without being too oily, and it still lasted all day and felt comfortable, especially in summertime. So yeah, so I can't rave about this enough. I am currently trying their new or old reformulation, and so I'll definitely keep you guys posted on what I think about that. Now moving on to makeup. So I know that you guys have seen or maybe you haven't, I posted a review of this on my Instagram. If you aren't following me, you should follow me on Instagram at Tenderforms. But the Clove and Hallow Conceal and Correct Concealer, I have this in the shade 02, and this formula just didn't work for me. So you can see that it looks like I haven't used it, and I have used it several times actually, especially because I was trying to kind of make it work, but it just never worked for my skin. I found it really drying, and then it would look super cakey on me. So, and I've tried different things like mixing it in with a facial oil as like maybe a tinted moisturizer to use it up, or I've also mixed it with other concealers. I think the closest I got to making it work was mixing this with the RMS Uncover Up, just because that is more emollient and more moisturizing. But even then, it never quite worked out. And also because the shade happened to be not the right shade for me. It pulls very pink on me, even though it says neutral, and I tend to be a true neutral. So a lot of times concealers or foundations can look too yellow or too pink on me. And this one definitely just pulled too pink. So it was hard for me to use it on the rest of my face. It looked fine under the eyes just because I think the pink actually helped a bit in terms of brightening. But everywhere else it didn't work. And it is supposed to last 2 years, I believe. And I think for like the past year I had put it away just because I never reached for it and couldn't get it to work. But it, in that time, definitely went off because the smell is not what it used to smell like. But if you're looking for an affordable, mostly clean concealer, I would suggest this for people with oily skin. It does also have dimethicone in it, which my skin tends to not agree with, but if you are okay with dimethicone, this could be a great concealer for you because it's affordable. It also boasts longevity once you open it. So I think if you continually use it and have oily skin, you could really like this concealer. The next one I'm super sad about because I love it, but also not sad because I just got a brand new tube. So this is the Pacifica Stellar Gaze mascara, and I have this in Supernova, which is their black shade. Because this is empty and expired, I just got the same mascara in their brown color, which is called Stardust, I believe. But this mascara is so good. It's by far one of the cleanest mascaras that are also affordable. I've also had an Instagram post on this. I think if you are like me and find it tough to spend over $20 on a mascara that you have to usually cycle out in 3 months, this could be the mascara for you. This mascara also lasts for 6 months, and for $14, that's a really good price point. The wand itself, just so you guys know, is really large. So if you're accident prone like me, I'd say just take your time with it because I've definitely poked myself in the eye more than once with it. I find that there's very minimal smudging. I tend to laugh and smile a lot throughout the day, so any mascara will smudge on me. But I find that on the top lashes, it's fine. It's only when I kind of laugh and like squint my eyes, then it does transfer a little on my lower lashes or my lower lash line area. But yeah, but it doesn't flake, and it does indeed last 6 months because I tried it and it hasn't dried out or anything. It's just since expired. Now moving on to, I guess, health, like general health empties. I've used up another bottle of my vitamins. I use the brand Ritual. It's their essential for women vitamins. And this bottle, or each bottle, lasts a month. And you basically just take 2 capsules a day, morning or night. They just recommend to stick with whichever one you choose. I have already used this for probably, I think maybe just about 2 years now. I really like it. When I first tried it, I immediately saw a boost in energy, and actually while on this, I haven't really had a cold in a very long time, like well over a year, I think. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Wait, knock on wood. I think it's really helped in kind of a lot of aspects of my health. I do feel more energetic throughout the day, and it helps me, I think, also to sleep better, and it's definitely helped my digestive system a bit, I think. I am not the greatest when it comes to swallowing pills, and so I did kind of consider that care of route where I chose specific vitamins and supplements to help, but being someone who's really bad at swallowing pills, I thought I would much prefer to just take 2 capsules versus like 8 capsules that my husband takes. But I think the price is also comparable. This bottle, or each bottle every month, costs I think $33, and I know my husband, who uses Care of, his come out to be like $31 per month, so I think it's comparable in the vitamin category. If you are looking for a multivitamin, I would highly suggest this one. I think it's really great. They also use a lot of great ingredients, mainly plant-based, and other ingredients are also non-GMO in here. They also just came out with their version of the prenatal vitamin, so if you're in the market for either, I highly recommend the Ritual brand. This little guy, which I'm sure you've also seen on my Instagram, it's just another empty of the Cocofloss in the mint flavor. I've also used these for, I think, well over a year, and each kind of cartridge lasts you 60 days, and it's really nice because on the back they have a sticker that shows you, like, once it goes to a certain level, how many days or weeks you have left, which is nice. I think one cartridge that lasts 2 months only is like $9, I believe. I really enjoy this floss. I think it's one of the main reasons why I haven't had cavities in a really long time, and also I guess it's helped in my gum health, as my dentist has told me. But this is really the only floss that I feel like does something. All other flosses I've tried are very thin and like waxy, but because they are so thin, I don't feel like they actually grip onto any of like plaque or food that may be stuck in between the teeth. So this one I really, really love. One note, or 2 notes actually. One is that the packaging is recyclable, so all you have to do is just put it with the rest of your recycled plastics or metals. On the site, they suggest, if you want to take the extra step for your recycling facility, to remove this metal part first, just so they're separate, and then they'll recycle both. But they also said you can just toss the entire thing in your recycle bin too, and that's fine. The second note is that they have lots of different flavors, and actually they usually come out with special ones during the summertime, but not all of their different flavors are natural. Only the coconut and the mint flavors are natural. The rest are synthetic. So just in case that's of any importance, now you know. Now moving along to the nail polish category. First up are these 2 by this Japanese brand called 3. I will admit that they are my guilty pleasure. Ever since switching over to Clean Beauty, they are the one brand that if I go to Japan, I always get something from there. As a designer, I really love their branding, I love their packaging, I also love all their color stories and collections, so I definitely always pick up at least one, if not several things from them if ever I'm in Japan. And last year when my husband and I went, they had just come out with their summer collection, and each collection they have both makeup and nail polish, and so I picked up 2 of their nail polish colors. This one's more of like a deep teal, maybe like a really dark eucalyptus color, and then this one's kind of like a sky baby blue color. When they're fresh and first open, they are really great. 2 coats will give you kind of full opacity, but then these have definitely since expired, and also they've definitely developed a gloopy texture when I open them. So, but that makes sense because it's well over a year. These 2 I'm tossing out, and then this one you may have also seen on my Instagram. This is by Preety New York City Polish, and this specific shade is called Sahara Rose, and this is my ultimate nude shade. I really wish that they didn't discontinue this shade because I love it so much. I'll definitely have to search for a dupe now, but this is a really great polish. I found that it lasted on my nails, and this particular shade, even though it's more cool toned, it never pulled too gray on me, and it always made kind of my nails look really healthy and made my hands look more polished. This bottle also lasts 24 months once opened, which is nice. And now one kind of disappointing product that I am no longer using is this Panasonic heated eyelash curler. Now, while we were in Japan last year, I finally saw these kind of in person, because it's a really kind of big item in Japan. A lot of the women use these heated eyelash curlers along with like regular eyelash curlers, but basically the premise is that it holds a curl because you're heating it, so kind of like curling your hair, you're curling your lashes. And I thought, being someone who's probably never going to use an eyelash curler in her life again, I thought this would be a good replacement for it. Just a little backstory on the eyelash curler thing. So I have really sensitive eyes, and I think I'm just traumatized from back when I was really young and I was a dancer and we had to do stage makeup. So my mom would do my makeup for me, and she would use eyelash curlers on me, and my eyelids would always get stuck in them, and it would just hurt so badly that I never want to use eyelash curlers ever again. But coming back to this item, so I was, you know, optimistic in hoping that it could replace regular eyelash curlers, but it just didn't work for me. I think it's half kind of user mistake and half the actual product. I found that because I do wear contacts, once it gets like really close to the lash line, it feels like it's drying out my contacts, which is not a good feeling. And also it just doesn't hold a curl. I think the few times that I have tried this, it only lasted max 30 minutes. But since it doesn't hold a curl, I'm probably not going to use it anymore, which is a shame. Although this only costs like $14, so it's not too big of a deal. So I kind of had high hopes for this, but alas, it just didn't work. So that's kind of it for my August empties, I guess. I hope you guys like this kind of informal, just like chatting through empties. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.